Hey guys, welcome back to VBA A to Z. My name is Long Pamay, and in the series of upcoming videos, I'll be showing you how to design a professional user interface using Microsoft Office applications. In short, UI focuses on creating attractive visual layouts that are responsive and guiding, whereas UX focuses more on the user experiences. I'll be covering both aspects of these designs. I'll show you how to use all existing controls and also teach you how to create custom controls and effects. We'll try to cover many practical examples so you can easily replicate them for your workspace. All these videos will be added to a playlist called Professional UI/UX. As always, project files, source codes used within tutorials will be made available absolutely at no cost, so you can change them as per your requirement. The only request from you is to support my channel so I can keep sharing all these videos and programs. So before we begin, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for upcoming videos. Let's get started. In this video, we'll use Excel UserForm to create a login interface, which will load on application initialization. I was giving you a quick demo. It's gonna fire up like this. It does not have many controls, so it gives us more time to get in detail on how I created them. This will introduce you to multiple controls. I'll show you how to create this custom username and the password fields, show you how to create these icons, add them with the same background as the form. As you know, it does not allow you to import the PNG images. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to create that as well. And this login button is also custom. It does not have the rectangle, like it has a curve in the corner, so I'll show you how to create that as well. And the watermark, username and the password, it does not come by default. It's not available. You have to customize them, you have to create them. So I'll be showing you all these customization, how to get them. I'll show you the resources from where I got it. So I'm gonna first close this. I'll just cancel this. First, walking you through these two sites where I normally download my like the icons that I need for my form. So this is material.io. You just need to click on the icon like this, and then you can select format you want to download, SVG or PNG. Similarly, if you come here, this icons8.com, from here you can download all these icons. You can search from here what sort of icons do you need. So let's get started. I'm just closing this for now. Before beginning, normally I collect all the requirements from the user, quickly Google, like if there are related interfaces that I can, like replicate the color, similar color and so on, or similar layout, so that you don't have to, like put too much time to think about it. Depends on how much time you have. And then I sketch up something in the paper so that, like I know the limitations which are there within, like Excel UserForm. And I collect the materials like the icons, for example, and then keeping in mind the like the limitation and the time I have, I like proceed. So this is all the icons and background images that I've downloaded. You can download it. I'll leave a link in the video description. You can feel free to download them for yourself. The key that I was using here for the password field is this, for example, this or this. So what I did was I imported that to my PowerPoint. So in the PowerPoint, I added, for example, I just created a blank slide, added something like this. I added the form color, fill shape, so something like this. Whatever is your form color, you can assign the RGB color to your form. So for example, if you have to do that, you can go and put in the exact color that you need. For example, you go here and you can specify 11779, for example, like this, and then you'll have that. So once you have whatever your form color is, you can just drag those PNG images that you downloaded from the website and leave them like this. Normally what I do, I create a very small icon like this, and then I take the snippet of this particular icon like this and save it. Keep in mind that you cannot import the PNG files to the UserForm, Excel UserForm I'm talking about. You can use the JPG, which is the better format as compared to ZIF, the GIF. Okay, so you can save it like this, for example, sample password icon, something like that. And then similarly you can replicate, like as you can see here, I have multiple of them. I tried them, multiple of them. This is the one that I did for the username. For the button that I created, as you can see here, this button again is from here. I created a button like this. I put the color that I want from like filling the shape. Again, you can put the white color, whatever color suits your interface, you can add that. Once you're done with that, for example, you can add a text from here itself. Then once you have that, you color them as per your requirement. It's better to keep the font consistent. For now, I'm in my user form, I'm using Gilix font, and for the welcome back, this part is Gilix, and this is like the normal fonts. So I think that's all about the part how to like customize your icons so that it has the same layout in the background as your form. Okay, so now let's start creating the form. I'll just try to recreate this form exactly how from the beginning, so that you have a better idea of how like I reached here. First, quickly looking at it, once the form is loaded, you can see like there is no close button, nothing. It comes up full screen, and once you come here, you can see the icon. Once you click here on the username, like you can put in the username, for example, Pamai 2020. Once you come here, you can put in the password, and then the password is not shown. You can see that the password are all asterisk, like it looks very professional. And once you're here, you can click sign in. Once you cancel, it closes the application entirely. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. And the other thing I want to say is, like, once you click on sign in, it says if you have missed out any of these fields, it will tell you to fill in the username and password. This is better in the sense that instead of popping up a message box that the user have to click again, I think it's better to give a feedback here directly. Okay, you forgot to put in the password. So we'll write small code to add this sort of validation as well. You're like totally new. Go to developer tab, Visual Basic, insert user form here. Initially, at first you can just leave it small user form like this, totally fine. Once you're here, you'll see this toolbox. So the toolbox will come from view, and then you see this toolbox. When you click this, you'll see this toolbox here. We need two text box, so that are for taking the field names, like the username and the password. Okay, so I'll take this username and the pass, these two text box. Let's have the height set up now itself. Let's set this to 15. Or whatever is default is also fine. You can drag and like make this small or big, or you can size it from here. The good thing about taking care of this from these properties, if you don't see this, just press F4, you'll see this. Okay, the good thing about setting here is like you are able to take care of the small minor points. The text box to something like 132. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this and make two text box. So once I have this, I'm gonna create two labels. I'm gonna make a copy of this as well again. And once I have these labels, I'll just write here as username, and this will be password. What I did was I placed this on top of this like this. Okay, like this. So you have to visualize this in your mind, how it's gonna appear to the users. Basically what I did was I put it like this, but then at the same time I made this text box, there is no background for this. The back style is transparent, and then there is no border. Border style is Excel style, border style none. Once you have this, you can see like there is like the sunken effect. You can take care of that by going down there. Then you can just leave it to flat, something like this. So now you can see, so when you're designing, maybe you can have the border style to single, so you can see that there is your text box. Okay, just to load this user form, press F5, and then you'll be able to see your user form is there. Okay, the other thing that we need here is if you just quickly toggle back to this one, now we need this a bigger label where we say welcome back, and then there's another label down here. We'll have to add these two icons. Okay, so going back, and then this sign in button. To add the sign in button and these two icons for username and the password, you can use the image control. This for all these controls, in order to add them to the user form, you just need to click on the whatever controls you need. For example, let's say you want to add image, you click one time, just leave it anywhere within the user form. You can draw them bigger, smaller, like this. For now, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, now I'm gonna add an image to this. I'm going to the picture, and then I'm going to click on browse. So this can be dynamically set as well. You can dynamically use the code to do that as well, which I'll show you in a moment. For now, we'll bring in this user2 icon, which was created earlier. And as you can see now, it has a border style single, so set this to none so that there is no border. And placing your cursor in the extreme corner like this, once you see this cursor changes, you double click on it like this, so it resizes to, you know, like really small. Once you have that, you set it, you know, like you can even make it even smaller than this, so that is up to you. Okay, so once you have that, we'll do the similar thing here for the password icon. So this is the password icon. I'll remove the border and then I'll bring this up here. Okay, and once we have this, we'll just leave this part a little bit now, and then we'll add the login button. So do the same thing like we did for the icons. I'm gonna bring my sign in button like this. Okay, so now it's not looking that great because we still have the background. We'll have to take care of the background in just a moment. And let's add one more at the top here, which will say welcome back. And then you can take care of the font, the size, and everything. So I use Gelix for this. So it could be bold, regular, you can make it bigger. Okay, so now we have that. Once we have everything figured out, we'll add we'll add something else. So now this text box, we'll try to hide it at the back. This is gonna come in the front like this. And then once we have all this figured out, we'll add like the outer, you know, like the custom borders, this like this, something like this, the one that you see here. So we're gonna add that now. And then so first let me add this label. So this label is gonna be like the actual text box, which will look like this. You can just get rid of that label you can just take care of that. Find them here as well, or the text, look for the text or the caption, something like that. Oh, here. So if whatever you write here is gonna appear here. I'm gonna just remove that for now. And I'm gonna add the border for this one. The color will be something like this, which is not so visible. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna put it here like this. Once you have this, you can send them back. So right click, select right click, and then you can send them backwards. So as you can see, you'll have to do this multiple times. Okay, I think that's all. So once you have this, you can take care of this text box. You can remove the border. No, you cannot see, but there's a text box. So once you're done with this, I think there's one more label. Just take care of. We'll say if the user does not, you know, fill in both the boxes, we'll say or please input username and the password. And then I'm gonna say the font color for this is gonna be red, something like this, maybe the brighter red, because our background is gonna be we're just gonna leave it like that for now. Okay, so once you're done with all this, you can drag this to on top of the text box, and then you can still take care of this and then maybe this will go down a little bit. So if you are not able to, you know, like place them, you know, like where you want, just use the top, this one, or left. So if you put more of this, let's say we make this 99, it's gonna move like that. If you make this a 79, it'll go back. Or you can just align them using just right click on it, align to left. You can do that as well. Okay, so for now I'm just doing that manually. Okay, so that's not too bad. So once you have that, you place them in the way you want, and then now we'll add the larger frame, or you know, like the background of how it looks like. If you come here, this particular background. Let's add that now. If you look here, the background for this, the back color is, I think, the 5th. I'm gonna come back here. So the more you play around with this, you'll have a better idea of how to do this, how to take care of all this from the beginning. So I'm gonna remove that label again. I'll add a color by color, dark like this. It's totally up to you how you want to, what color you want to. So I'm gonna send this back really quickly. Now we'll make this welcome back maybe a bit bigger, 26 maybe. Something like this. We'll make the font to yellow as it is in our demo, something like this. So this, sometime when you try to move between small, like minor grids, it's really difficult to move them. So it's not the best interface for designing, but with a little bit of patience, a bit of time commitment, you'll be able to, make some beautiful designs. Okay, so this one has a border. Let's take care of that as well. Transparent. So now this looks better, maybe like this, and all this will have to go again. No border, transparent. This as well. Oh, sorry, transparent. I'm gonna set all this to, okay, I'll have to come back to that one a little bit. Just give me a moment. It's bigger one. We'll leave the border, but we'll just leave the background. This one will have the border. Like the text box for this hint, or like the placeholder, will set the font color a bit grayish, like not really visible, so that the focus is not too much on that. Something like this. If I load this, I press F5 and loads this up. Now it's looking a bit closer. This one has the border. Let's take care of that. This key must be the one that we designed. It has a little bit different background color, so you have to play around all this a little bit. Maybe something like this. Okay, it's not looking great. That's better, a little bit better. So now the, like we don't want this to show up as soon as the form is loaded. I'll leave the code behind for you regarding loading the firing up this, to the full screen and everything. So I'm gonna copy all this code just as a demo, so you have a better idea. And coming back here, this is the part where, like all this is being taken care of. I'll show you each line what is it doing. So all this will start giving me error now because we did not have the same controls for both sides. So now it's coming up in this corner. We'll have to maybe make this bigger. I'll just drag this bigger, and I'll bring this here somewhere in the middle, something like this. And once you have this here, I'll add one more text box. I'll just explain it to you in a bit why I need this. I'll just hide this though there. Let's just add up like this. This username seems to be a little bit on the higher side. That's better. Okay. So now we'll add the code to take care of all this. So this label 6 is something which we don't want to show as soon as it's loaded. So we can say, in order to add this code, let's say that you're creating a really new one, we can do that by going here, select the UserForm, and then you select initialize. Okay, so this is where you'll be adding your codes. Within this, whatever you add here is the code that is going to run as soon as the form is loaded. Okay, so that was what I was creating. This is basically all the RGB for the background that I was adding. RGB, and these are the red, green, and all these color codes. That this part is basically for drawing our user form, so that like it opens up in full screen. This part is positioning in the middle of your Excel. If your Excel is half screen, then the pop-up will be just the half screen, not the entire screen, and so on. And this part is basically just setting the background color. Yeah. Now, as soon as it opens up, we don't want to show this one, label 6, so let's hide that. So we'll see label 6 dot visible equal false. So now it's not showing us that. And now as soon as it opens up, you can see like the cursor is behind that. Let's hide that as well. We'll move the focus to the hidden text box. We'll say, or you can also write with me. So me basically is the user form, and then the text box 3 dot set focus is equal to true. Oh, not like that, just set focus. I think it should be okay. Okay, loading again, F5, so you can see like the cursor is not here anymore. Okay, here as soon as the user clicks on this label, we want it to be hidden. Similarly for this, so this is label 1. Sometimes you might not be able to click what is behind for an example, so you can use from the properties. You can use this drop down to move around the controls. So now for the username, for example, let's say user clicks on this, we want to hide this label. Okay, so we'll see label dot this visible equal to false. Oh, sorry, equal to false. And then we'll say text box 1 dot set focus. So let's try to run this. So when the user clicks on this username, it will hide itself and set a focus on text box like this, so the user is able to type in the username. Okay, now the username text box font color should be white, so let's set that up. The font color for that, let's put a bright color like this. Similarly, let's do it for text box 2. Let's put white color. So F5 to load your form, click. Now the username comes, like in font, white font. Now the text box seems to be a bit too much towards this side. Let me bring it closer towards this side. Similarly for password, this. So click here. Okay, so similarly, let's quickly do it for password as well. Double click on this. We'll say me.textbox.set focus, and then me dot, like this label 2 will be hidden. Dot visible equals false. So let's try this. So okay, one thing we forgot to set is for text box 2 is to be password. So let's quickly select text box 2. There's one quick control. If you have a password, then you can say password character, CHAR character. You can put asterisk. So next time you load it, you type something, it will just show the password. Okay. Okay. So now it is possible that the user may not always click on this. Sometimes they might just hit tab, like hit next, something like that. So we want to make sure that username comes back when they move away from these controls. So I'll show you how to do that now. So for text box 1 again, I'm selecting text box 1, and then I'll just double click on it. So as soon as it exits, if the text box value is blank, then we'll just bring back the label 1. Okay, so we'll just reuse some of the code there. So we'll say if me.textbox1.value is equal to blank, then we'll just say it's true. So if I test this out, let's say I come in here, clicks here, and then fill in something, but then the user removes it again and hit tab and goes to the next, so the user name just comes back. Okay, So similarly, you can do this here. I'll just leave that for now, or we can quickly add that. It's okay. So text box 1 or text box 2. On exit, we'll just do exactly the similar thing that we just. I'll just say text box 2. If the value is this, then label, I think it's label 2, visible is to true. So if I click here, so it comes back there. Okay, so that's what you can do. Now, as soon as the user, activates this true tab, tapping the, hitting tab from their computer, we want this to vanish or just hide itself. So let's try to do that. Going back quickly here, if you go back and going back, so just to go back to the code without clicking here, you can just press anywhere, click anywhere and press F7. It will take you back there, and we can say when the text box 1 and 2 is activated, we want to hide the labels that are sitting on top of that. Okay, so I'll say enter. So I'll say for 1 we'll say this one is false, and then for text box 2, when it enters, we'll say label 2 visible false. So this label 1 and label 2, what was that error about? Okay, there's spelling error. Okay, so hit tab, as soon as the text box is activated, you can see it goes away, but if you don't feel it, it comes back. So once you click on it, now nothing happens. So let's quickly add a code here. Before drag down, instead of this, we'll use mouse down. Mouse down is when the person is clicking on it. So we'll just get rid of this. We'll say that if me dot textbox dot value is equal to blank. Similarly, if both are blank, if any of them are blank, then we do not want to proceed. So we'll say that this label, so you can also say you can just rename this label name to notify 1 or something like this, and then you can say notify 1 dot visible equals true, else we can say unload me. Unload me is basically to close the user form. So we'll say unload notify should be hidden. So it's hidden. If I click now, it'll say please input the username and this, and just close. So once you, if you click on this, it says to put in the username. So once I click here, then you can put in the username, something like this, put in the password, and then it closes the user form if it is good. Okay, so one last thing very quickly is if I go back to my Project Explorer, if you want this code to run as soon as the workbook opens, what I did was I just say userform1.show. So since we created userform2, you can add that to your here. So how you can do is you can just select the workbook from here. From this workbook module, you go here or class. From here you can say select open, so this will be here. So here what you can do, userform2.show, you can do it like this. Okay, so as soon as your workbook opens, it's gonna load up this particular login form. One last thing, we'll add a cancel here, or you can just copy this. We'll say cancel. Maybe we'll make the font color a little bit visible, something like this. Okay, so once they click on cancel, it will close up say unload me or something like that. Or if you want to entirely close the Excel, if you want to save the workbook before closing, you can say this workbook dot save, and then you can say application dot quit. This will just close Excel application entirely, this one. Okay, so we'll quickly give it a test. I'll just differentiate these two user form now. Let's call this I'll put additional exclamation for the second user form. So this is the first user form we created, and this is the second one. Okay, I'm gonna close this now and start up this. So it says welcome back, this is the form we just created. Here you can put in the username, something, put in the password, you can cancel, or let's say we don't put in, it tells us to do this. So if you hit tab, it fill, like pre-fills again, like the password, like to put in the password. If I remove this, and so on. As soon as it's activated, it hides the placeholder or the hint tag. In the following videos, we'll cover more examples and start creating real-life interface applications. I'll show you how to add effects to the user form, and also I'll show you how to create more custom controls. That's all I have for you today. Please leave a like or a comment if you found this video informative, and please do subscribe for our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.